Okay, going live. What's up, everybody? Going live on the stream here. So if you have any questions, you type in the comments. I will help you answer it. Okay. Feel free to join the live stream if you have questions. Let's see what people are saying right now. Do you think the open interest flush is over for ETH? Let's see. Let's see. We have a pretty big liquidation today. Going to CoinGlass. Let me share my screen here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. My first time going live, guys. So, have any questions? Let me know. So, open interest flush. See what happened today. What's up, Hamid? Hamid joined the call. Let me check out the liquidation today. Liquidation history. How much long was liquidated? Damn, about a $1.5 billion of longs were liquidated today. See how much on ETH that was liquidated. About $200 million. Okay, we've seen bigger ones in the past. We definitely have seen bigger ones in the past. Okay, let's take a look at the charts. ETH just under $3,800 right now. Check out the super chart. Really, really quite a small and insignificant pullback on the grand scale of things. I've been updating this chart for the past little while, and it's a lot of interest showing this chart. This is a clear, cup and handle formation. We've begun this in November of 2021, so it took about 2 years, a little over 2 years to get to this point. And the last weekend close, we actually got to the 4K level, and today we saw a flush to the downside. But the trend is not really broken, it's still intact, right? I mean, this is, if anything, this is a consolidation at this level. Historically, there's a lot of resistance at this level, and I think we're trying to make support at this about 3.8K to 4K level. So the target's still to the upside. Have a couple of we have a couple more weeks to go, I think, until we hit these targets. Yeah, that's on the Ethereum side. Let's check out ETH BTC. ETH BTC. There you go. Yeah, 30, 38. Almost 4 cents here on ETH BTC. This is a a V bottom that we're looking at, but we have to make 4 cents as support first, and that was we tested that level, and I think we can counter some resistance, right? See, it's a good time to enter leverage trade. Well, leverage trading is probably, I'm gonna say it's probably much safer that we've nuked today to start leverage trading. A lot of things are reset. Fundings rate were reset. Let's look at funding rates. CoinGlass. We're looking at fundings here. Yeah, funding rates for a lot of altcoins, it was really reset it to a pretty regular level. ETH and Bitcoin still a little heated on the fundings rate. But yeah, it's probably much safer that we've just nuked. But you never know. Sometimes longs get liquidated, shorts get liquidated. Both sides usually get wrecked when the market has a lot of volatilities. What are some of the other comments here? How are you? I'm good. How are you, Jaspreet? 8K ETH by February. I don't think it's a far-fetched targets. I mean, we could look at ETH on this chart here, right? I looked at this chart a few times. Let's just reset it. February 8K, essentially looking at 100% gain to February. I don't think it's an impossible targets. I mean, in the past, we have seen this move being repeated in the past. Let's turn on the log scale so you can see here. How did we go from end of 2020? Right, we're looking at the previous all-time high, so we're a little short of the previous all-time high, so it's probably around this area here, right? From this is December of 2020 to February of 2021. How much was that? That's about a 3x right there, going from $544 to 1.8K. So a move upside of a 2x, 100% gain. 8K by February. I don't think it's a target that's too far fetched. Obviously, there's diminishing returns. If you look at the last cycle or the cycle before this, we're looking at testing the previous all-time high after this drop here. So about here, right? This is September of 2017. Okay, 2 months later, 2 months. No, it's 3 months. So September to December, 56 days. There we go. 2 months later, 9 bars. That's about 80% gain, right? So I would say it's actually quite plausible that we could see 8K ETH by February. It's hard to give a specific timeline as always because market reacts to different things. So, but the trend is right. The trend is in our favor. Next year it's 2025. It's 1+ halving year. So historically, it's a really good year, right? There's definitely more to gain betting on the upsides than the downsides. See what other comments other people have. My targets 7.2K or 15K. Okay, sometimes I post 7.2K as target, sometimes 15K. Okay, so if you look at this chart here, this is really, I shared this chart as a cup and handle formation, right? This is a long-term cup and handle formation. It took about 2 years to form this pattern. And here we're going from, the lows here, which is about 2.2K, and right now we're about 4K. Right, that's about a gain of 1.8K. So if you use this distance as a target to set for the cup and handle formations to force targets, it's about 5.2, and then you have your 6.5, and then the longest targets I have here, it's basically the initial drop from 4.6K all the way down to about $1,000. The initial drop when we enter the bear market after November 2021, right? And this is the deepest portion of this cup. And extrapolate that over here, what you got is 7.2K, right? So this is not an unreasonable targets, and I expect that we reach these targets by say end of Q1 of 2025. So that's about a little over 3 months, maybe 3 to 4 months that to be occurred. And then my cycle top target, it's about 15K. That's the highest cycle top target I have for Ethereum. Well, why is that? It's based on a lot of things, but most importantly, I think just think about the numbers in in logical ways. Like, how can we achieve 1.5 or $15,000 of ETH? That's a market cap of just under $2 trillion, right? I think first we gotta reach 8K first, right? That's $1 trillion mark. After the $1 trillion mark is reached, I think we could potentially go for a run to the 15K, which is about just shy of $2 trillion. Even for Bitcoin, it took about 2 cycles. It took about last cycle and this cycle for it to officially cross the $2 trillion mark. And it was actually, not as difficult to cross the $2 trillion mark because, given there's 4 years in between the crossing 1 trillion and crossing 2 trillion. So for Ethereum, I realistically don't think it can cross over 2 trillion. It's a big mark, but I think once it crosses 1 trillion, going from 1 trillion to 2 trillion, given the bullishness of the market, it could happen. So that's why my top cycle top target is about 15K. There's a lot of other analysis that kind of just make your targets align. So I'll say 15K. It's my highest cycle top targets, but 7.2K. It's perhaps our mid-cycle top, or the targets I can see Ethereum realistically will reach by the end of Q1 2025. Inflows, Val said, inflows for ETS are very much green. Yes, we've got, I think it was last week, Ethereum actually got more inflows than Bitcoin ETFs, which is quite impressive. Quite impressive. Selling April and go away. This is an interesting one, actually. If you look at the historical analysis, where is it? Let's see. Where did this show the monthly return? Data. Okay. So monthly returns. Where is that? I'm going to search it here. Nope, it's not show up. Bitcoin returns. Oh, there we go. So if we look at the monthly returns, you can see Q4. It's a really good period for historical returns, especially for halving years. 2020, 2024, now we're up about 42, 43% in Q4 so far. Got about less than a month to go. Right. So December, it's also positive period. So I'll drag this over. So 2020, December, we had this crazy rally driven by Grayscale buying the Bitcoins from OTC trading desk. It was up 47%. 2016, another halving year, December, was up about 30%. Right now, so far in December, we're up about 1%. So if we were to repeat, let's say a 30% return in this December period, and I think what began in December was about $98,000. 30% of that, it will take Bitcoin to a target of 127,000 by the end of December. So sell in April and go away. What happened in the previous halving year? Well, 2020 ran up quite a bit in the first month of the year. Some January effects here, and had a mini bear market in February and March. April and May were the beginners. 2016, also April and May were two positive months. So sell in April and go away. Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things are. We have a few targets that we need to cross first before we can say definitely how how we're gonna top this cycle, whether it's mid-cycle top or cycle top. What else am I looking at? I think we can look at the coin market cap, right? To be honest, I think there's a lot of opportunities that's sitting just in the top 100. You don't really have to go too far You don't have to look at a micro cap or like a meme coin. I mean, you could do that, but that's definitely not my core strategy here. I think there's a lot of opportunities in the top 100 of CoinMarketCap that provides a very balanced risk and reward, right? I mean, usually what you see in these tokens, the top one all the way to top 20, there's a lot of layer ones, so-called Ethereum killers. Of course, ETH is the second place. XRP right now it's in the third spot. An Ethereum killer, if you will. Flip Solana not so long ago. BNB, another layer one. A possible or potential Ethereum killer. We got Dogecoin. It's always been in the top 10, even throughout the bear market, right? This is it's no longer, in my opinion, it's no longer a meme coin. It's just a mainstream um, blue chip cryptocurrency here. We got Cardano, Tron, Avalanche. These are all layer one competitors. Sheeb, right? This is your Doge on Ethereum chain. You have your Toncoin, your Chainlink. Chainlink always in the top 20. I don't think it's ever lost or gone past over the 20th spot. We have your Polkadot. Again, it was a big winner last cycle. This was top 10. At one point, I think it was top 4, or it was in the number 4 and number 5 spot on CoinMarketCap. You have your Stellar, which is another layer 1. HBAR, Sui, these are layer 1s that really popped up this cycle. Bitcoin Cash, and I think so. Bitcoin Cash is an interesting one. It's always in the top 30. There's a Bitcoin Cash, and then there's the Ethereum Classic right here, ETC. People laugh about these coins or these tokens, but if you look at institutions, these are actually the cryptocurrencies that institutions have positions in. If you look at the Bloomberg reportings, or if you look at the Bloomberg TV, you notice that these really old legacy cryptos that's been around since 2017. We're talking about your Bitcoin Cash, your Litecoins, your Ethereum Classic, which if you're in the space, you're ahead of the curve. You don't really pay much attention about these things, but they are definitely in the radar of the traditional finance guys. We got some DeFi's here. So if you remember back in 2020, DeFi summer was a really big thing. We got your Uni here. We have Aave somewhere here, Aave number 37. These tokens also made quite a bit of a comeback. I think with the Trump getting elected, you're going to have more loosening of policies on regulations on decentralized finance, and Uni, your Uniswap, and your Aave definitely stood the benefits here, right? Of course, we got your AI tokens this cycle. We got your Feet, VeChain. It's another legacy cryptocurrency that's been around for multiple cycles. We got you Chronos from Crypto.com. Last cycle, there's another narrative. There's a few narrative, right? Last cycle back in 2021 that haven't really run, and these are some of the things that we want to pay attention about, or at least think about. Have these things on your radar, right? Well, what are those things? They are metaverse tokens, right? Remember last cycle, they were really strong metaverse winners. We're talking about your Axie Infinity. We're talking about your Decentraland. These were really strong, big winners in the top 30 in the last cycle. They disappeared. They are probably, let's see where Decentraland is at right now. I think it's called Mana. What is it right now? Number 99. Yeah, so it's still in the top 100, which is good. And once this narrative comes back, it could come back in the future, when everything else have already made their pump, it could once again go into the top 50s. Those I think are some of the big opportunities there. We got your DeFi tokens. I mentioned CRV up 47% the past 7 days, right? IOTA, another legacy crypto, date all the way back to 2017 cycles. You got your Bitcoin SV as well, similar to Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash. These legacy tokens belong in the same categories. Neo, it's another legacy token that's been around as far back as 2017. Right, Axis I mentioned. There's definitely a lot of opportunities in the top 100s. Yeah, but it's really about narratives, right? And nothing runs forever, right? Look at Solana. Solana was really, really hot. It was number 3. It's a number 3 spot for a very long time this cycle. Did really well. Went from the lows of the $8 all the way to 200, almost $300. It's a 25x gains. Did really well, but it's been bleeding. Still up by quite a bit, but you can see that it's taking a bit of a pause here, and XRP caught up, right? A lot of it is just capital that's rotating, between cryptocurrencies. What are other cryptos or altcoins in the top 100? Of course, the meme coins. Don't be covering too much of the meme coins, but these meme coins definitely have a lot of upsides, right? My personal opinion of meme coins, if we go to the meme categories, right? I think it's more like a public participating lottery, right? Look at how big the total market cap is for the meme coins. I think it would say somewhere here. Okay, so the total market cap of the meme coins about $120 billion, and the volume, it's $42 billion a day. That is crazy. 1/3 of the volume, 1/3 of the market cap is traded in the past day, or this is the past 30 days. No, this is the past day. Wow. So that's why meme coin it's going off the chart. There's a lot of new capital coming in. What this means is looking at $120 billion of market cap and $42 billion, 1/3 of that is a daily trading volume. That means 1/3 of the participants in these meme coins have sold in the past day, and new money, another 1/3, have come in and bought it up. There's a lot of liquidity in meme coins for sure. 120 billion in total. It's not really that much. The lottery industry, just in the U.S., it's hundreds of billion dollars every year. So that's why meme coins are up. Right. So back to the other category plays. What other categories that we want to look at? So yeah, we got your, let's filter by market cap. We got your memes, got your Solana ecosystem, which is also a lot of memes. So if you look at this one, it's pretty interesting. So this is all the Solana ecosystem tokens. You can see that the market cap 340 billion, volume 315 billion a day. Wow, that's unbelievable. So pretty much you get one one entire rotation of the people that's participating in these Solana projects. So we got a lot of meme coins here with Dog was had, Bunk, and we have some DeFi tokens here. Radium, Jupiter, more meme coins, Popcat, Peanuts, Baby Doge. We've got your Luna Classic. A lot of meme coins here. PayPal USD. You got your Act One. This is another meme coin. Basic Attention Token. You got your Moodings, AI16Z, Farcoin, Chill Guy, Simon's Cat. A lot of meme coins here in the Solana ecosystem. Let's go back. So go back and see what other token there is. This is not filtering properly. Not sure why. Let's see. AI tokens, AI and big data, $58 billion market cap. Really not that big yet. You know, AI, it's more like a meme thing going on, right? Like this AI and memes and AI, meme AI. 59 billion total market cap of the entire category of AI big data. Definitely go up a lot more. DeFi, 163 billion. Gaming, only 30 billion. You know, GameFi was really, really hot in the last cycle. We're talking about GameFi's. We're talking about Metaverse, really strong narrative in the last cycle. Not so much this cycle. We really haven't seen much. You know, Sandbox, 64. That's where it's at right now. Let's see the Sandbox prices. Haven't really paid attention to these tokens, but I'm guessing Sandbox is still down quite a bit from its all-time high. Yeah. So it was at $7.50. Sandbox, comparing to its all-time high back in 2021, so down about 90%. Okay, so if it goes up back to its previous all-time highs, you're looking at a 10x return just right here, right? And this has already gone up by about a 3x from the 25 cents just a month ago. It went 3x, 10x. So if you caught the bottom here, you know, in the beginning of November, and it goes back up to the previous all-time high, we're not hoping for too much, but let's just say it goes back to its previous all-time high, you're looking at a 30x return, probably in a period of less than a year. And this is the return you would be able to get without putting your money into a microcap meme coin. You know, this is number 64. Sure, it may go down, it might be outperformed by other tokens, but it's not going to disappear. You know, it's not going to rug on you. It's not going to go down by 99.9%. Tokenomics is very clear. You know how much sand is available. You know who are the big holders, right? What is other tokens that we have here? This is, we're looking at gaming here. Decentraland, Axie Infinity, right? These are all tokens that are really hot in the previous cycle and it just suffered quite a bit. But you know, look at these tokens. Even back in 2021, you know, were they hot in the beginning? You remember where we were in the cycle, right? 2020. So this is where in equivalent of timeline, you know, we're in December of 2024. So go back another 4 years. We're looking at December of 2020. Okay. We know that Bitcoin reached about $60,000 for the first time in about April, May. How much was Axie Infinity? It was $10. And then in the summer low, Bitcoin tested $31,000 in the summer of 2021. It went to $3. It dumped about 70%. And then from there, from June all the way to December, the second half of the bull market. Now, Bitcoin only went from 30,000 back to 69,000 again. But look at where Axie Infinity went. Went from $4 all the way to $150. That's about a over 30x return. That's about almost a 40x return, 37x in a period of June all the way to November, 5-month period, right? And these are the opportunities that's not very apparent to you in the first half of the cycle. You're looking at the first half of the cycle. You're looking at Axie Infinity in the beginning of 2020. It was 50 cents. It was there. It was in this range for a long time. Bitcoin run all the way to 60,000. Axie didn't really go anywhere. It's about $4 or $5 right here. And then in the second half, when the narrative really came back, GameFi was super hot. It just exploded. Of course, it all came crashing down on Earth eventually, but who says the same cannot repeat itself again? Going from $7, making a run up all the way back to 150,000 to $150 or more. How much was the market cap at the peak? Let's see. It was about $10 billion. Now this is I'm sure that there's probably a lot of token unlock in the past 4 years, so the market cap probably be a lot higher now if we run up to the same price. But yeah, $10 billion. How much is it now? It's about 1 billion. So this is about a 10x if it goes back to previous all-time high, right? Still a lot of opportunities here. If you just look at the narratives that have not made a run up in this market cycle, DeFi is getting some traction so far, so might not be a bad bet to bet on DeFi, right? So like Uni. By the way, Uni is a token that have a lot of institutional interest. We've seen institutions, creating exchange traded products similar to an ETF or a closed-end or open-ended funds, and they buy unit tokens. I know for a fact that Bitwise have several funds that invested in a Uni token. I'm sure they didn't perform very well in the last bear market, but doesn't change the fact that institutions are in these tokens, right? The peak of this was about $42. Right now, about 16. Okay, so still about a 2x here to go back to all-time high. So maybe DeFi is not as undervalued already compared to these other sectors here. DPain, and this could be a big narrative, right? RWA, only $57 billion. Really, it's about researching these narratives, understand these narratives. What do you think is going to be the next ecosystem that blow up? Maybe you're a bullish on a specific layer 2, whether it's optimism or arbitrarium, right? Let's look at BNB ecosystem. I think the majority of this is probably Binance Smart Chain. Yeah, majority of this, about 100 billion, is actually from E. So that means the rest of this, it's about $300 billion. Of course, there's stable coins as well. So if you take those out, it's even less, right? Binance was a very popular chain. There was also a pretty big narrative back in 2021 for these centralized exchange launch tokens. OKX, there's the BNB token, there's a KuCoin token. Those were in top 30 at one point. FTX token, if you remember those, right? Actually, I wonder how KuCoin token is doing. I'm not saying, we'll go back to the same narrative it did back in 2021. Narrative tend to change, right? This year we got a lot of AI and memes going on, right? Those are new, those are different, but it could return. Some of these older narrative, it could repeat itself very easily. Still has a lot of holders. And what do you think they're doing right now? They're probably still looking at their portfolios. Wonder once the sentiment returns, you know, they're going to recruit a lot of people into the narrative that they would like to see going up. Could be these centralized exchange tokens, right? Again, nothing I said today is financial advice. I just wanted to, use this opportunity to answer some questions, and feel free to type in the chat uh, the questions you have for me. I'm just answering the questions that DG typed me, which is what else are you looking at? Well, these are potentially some of the outs I'm looking at. All right. AI memes. AI memes. Market cap only 3.5 billion. I'm not a big meme coin guy. I'm not an expert at researching memes, but 3.5 billion for AI memes. That's a pretty small market cap. Gambling tokens, layer ones, almost $1 trillion. Sports, sports token was also big. I don't know if you guys remember last cycle, a lot of these tokens were launched on Binance Launchpad. Chills, for example, it's probably down a lot from the previous all-time high. Let me just take a look. The first time I'm looking at these tokens for years. So yeah, it was launched on Binance Smart Chain. Was it a Binance Smart Chain token? Yeah, it was BEP2 token. So it's launched on Binance Smart Chain. Exploded after the Binance Launchpad. Went from 2 cents all the way to 73 cents. So right now we're about 10 cents here. Yeah, so still got about 7x just to return to the all-time high. Right. I'm not saying these tokens will absolutely return to its previous glory, but it's definitely something you can pay attention to. Right. 2017-18 L season. Wonder what these are. Let's take a look. Okay, these are those very legacy tokens. We got your XRP, Cardano, Tron, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Filecoin, Monero, Phantom, EOS, Neo, Zcash, right? And see these tokens, like there were a lot of tokens launched in the past cycle. For a token to survive this long from 7 years ago, 2017, 2018 cycle, all the way to today, it took about 7 years. You'll see these tokens are still, there's about maybe a dozen tokens still above the first 100 in CoinMarketCap. Dash is 150. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, these tokens, they survive this long. They're probably going to survive a lot longer. These are also legacy tokens to pay attention to, right? Once it returns, it can go up really quickly, go up very quickly. Look at EOS, for example. Now, EOS was top 10 at one point back in the days. We're looking at fully diluted valuation. It's $2 billion. So down quite a lot. Let's see, it was the top. What was the top? The top was 2018, $17. Right now it's $1. So if EOS, pull an XRP, it would do about 17x right here, right? See what happened last cycle? It was this is a legacy token from the 2018 cycle, $17, went all the way to about $2 in the previous bear market. Didn't do much, even when Bitcoin, Ethereum was going crazy in the beginning of 2021. It was still at $3, right? Remember in the January of 2021, Bitcoin was already 40,000, maybe $50,000. In March and April, it was about $60,000 already, and EOS was still at less than $4, and then it just shot up like crazy. $14, almost tested the previous bull cycle high here. Of course, that's when the market ended after after the May crush. Bitcoin crashed at 31K, and EOS never came back. And this past cycle, it was traded at 70 cents, 40 cents, the lowest, and now it's back to $1. Right? How much higher can it go? And maybe it could pull an XRP, go back to its previous all-time high very briefly. Maybe we'll go back down again like this, right? And by the way, this period we're looking at here, this could also be an XRP scenario, right? Think about how bullish it was when it went all the way back to its previous all-time high. We got the summer lows, Bitcoin dropped to $30,000. Well, from July all the way to November, Bitcoin ran up again from 30,000 to almost 70,000. Well, EOS never came back. Wasn't the right narrative. A lot of things went up a lot more in this period. EOS did not, right? I think a lot of these, top 100 cryptos, at least it's got one big run that's left, right? I mean, even for EOS, it had this shining moment briefly. Of course, people are probably thinking that it will continue to go up because it went up so quickly from basically $4 to all the way to $15 in a span of 2-month period. Well, it didn't happen. It went down, right? Anything could happen. Anything could happen. What other comments we have? Any indicators you're looking at which would signify the market is overheated and it's time to sell? I mean, there's a lot of indicators you can look at, right? I mean, you can look at just saying what's top of my head. You can look at your fear and greed indicator. Fear and greed. Well, this doesn't tell us the full history yet, so maybe not this one. How about Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance, it's at 55% right now. Let's see if this shows you the chart, right? So let me just open up the screen here. So Bitcoin dominance have just started dropping. It topped at about 60%. Right now it's about 55%, right? What happened when the market topped? Or when did it top? In 2021, it topped in November, right? Over here. After this big drop in L season, Bitcoin's dominance went from 70% all the way to, what was it here? About 40%. Dropped by 30% Bitcoin dominance. And the market topped from May all the way to November. So it took about 6 months. 6 months of L season, Bitcoin just hovering at the dominance, hovering at the lows for the market to really top, right? Well, this cycle, 2017, was similar. Bitcoin dominance dropped from 85%, and the market didn't really top until 32% Bitcoin dominance. How long did this period take? It took about February of 2027 to January of 2018. So about 12-month period. 12th month of all season, There's about 6 months of all season right here. Sorry, I was wrong actually. It's more than 6 months. This is January of 2021. And market top in November, so it took about 10 months over here. What's happening now? We've just begun. We've just begun the inversion of Bitcoin dominance. So, I think we still got quite a long time to go to start thinking about cycle top here. A lot of people are probably, scarred from the past cycle, from the past two cycles or past cycles, and they're trying to front run the cycle top. But right now, there's very little indication that we're close to a cycle top. In fact, I think we're probably at least a few months away from some sort of a top, whether it's mid-cycle top, whether it's is absolute top of the cycle. We've got quite a bit of a long way to go here. Other indicators. I mean, I like to look at on-chain indicators. And we can look at on-chain indicators as well. I'll do a little bit on-chain, on-chain analysis here. I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment. To log into Glassnode, our trusted on-chain analysis tool. I've been live for about an hour. I think I'm gonna wrap it up in about half an hour. Got about 800 people watching from Twitter, from X. Welcome. If you guys like it, I'm gonna do more stream in the future. Let's see if I can find a bit of music to play in the background here. How about lo-fi? A little bit of a lo-fi music here. Okay, let's look at on-chain. Log into Glassnode here. Let's see. Any more questions? Give me a comment. See if I got more questions on Twitter. Don't really have a lot of questions, but I do have people asking about Ethereum breaking below 3.8K. So I'm going to address that later, but let's take a look at on-chain data first. Glassnode. This is Glassnode. So, really good on-chain analysis tool. There's other tools now, but Glassnode was one of the first that came with a suite of on-chain indicators. They're really helpful to look at. I'm just gonna maximize the screen here. Let's see. About night and realized profit and loss. Let's look at this one for Ethereum. Where we're at. 2017 was the first cycle for Ethereum. Ethereum was in belief zone in the first time when it made new all-time high. And it dropped something like 70% in a cycle top fashion. And it recovered into the second half of the cycle. You can see how long Ethereum spent in the the top of the cycle here. We got into the euphoria zone multiple times. What about 2021? It started going into the belief zone from November of 2020. There were some fluctuations, but when the top happened, exactly about a year later. Well, this time we first went into the belief zone just before the Bitcoin halving, in the first Bitcoin bull run this cycle. If you were to count this period, February, really by June or July, it was over. It was about a 3-month period here, 3 or 4 months, and we just recovered back to the belief zone. Still very, very fresh into the belief zone, and we're not even close to euphoria. We just touched into the belief zone. This is an indicator you can look at, see how heated on-chain indicators indicate that different cryptos are. What about MVRV score? Talk about this a few times as well. Where is it at right now? It's about, after today's data, it's about 1.6. ETH is $4,000. Z-score is 1.62. Where was the last time we had 1.6? Well, it's right here. It was right here, actually. 1.67. That was back in December of 2020. Ethereum was $616. In the next few months, in the next 5 months, it ran all the way up to an MVRV Z-score of 6.5 and a mid-cycle top of 4K Ethereum. How big of a gain was that? That's about a 5x gain right there. More than 5x. Right. What about this cycle, the previous cycle? MVRV Z-score. Ethereum was $18. The Z-score was 1.82. It went from $17 all the way to $350 when a Z-score also shot up at the same time. So still very early here, very early here to call the top of the cycle. I mean, of course, it could happen. Anything could happen, right? But it's just how likely that is. Are you better off, being bullish or bearish into this market? Right. These are the things you can think about. Let me see. A lot of questions about Ethereum, so I'm gonna go back to ETH before we end the stream today. Probably gonna end the stream around 9:30. Before 9:30. Are you bullish on Ethereum's future? Definitely bullish on ETH. I think to the person who doesn't really want to research a ton of information about the market, you don't have to know a lot. ETH is really something that you can just put your money there, leave it there, and really not think about it too much. Whereas other tokens, you're looking at a lot of research, probably hours of research. In the end, how much can it realistically outperform Ethereum? I'm not sure how much it could, to be honest. And turn down the music a little bit. Now let me go back to the Ethereum chart here. Let me go back to the ETH chart. Here we go. Do you believe ETH is back, let's say, back on the rise after today's crush? Um, and there's a couple questions about today's Ethereum crash. I mean, I wouldn't even call this a crash. It's I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure when you guys started dabbling into this market, but let's just look at last cycle. What happened, right? Okay, Ethereum has a lot of volatilities. So let's just take the last November, about exactly 4 years ago here. Looking at the daily charts, I'm going to turn on the 50 simple moving average and 200 simple moving average, which tend to provide a bit of a support and resistance throughout the bull market. So what happened in the last cycle? Well, you'll see how many 30% crash that we've experienced. From here to here, it's about a 10% drop. Then went up to $600, 17% crash right here. Then coming January, 26% drop. Probably even more if you count the exact wick right there. 32% drop. End of January again, just 10 days after, went back to all-time high again, dropped another 28%. Okay. February dropped 31%. Actually, more than that, 33%. Okay. Mid of March, 17%. You count the wick, 20%. Right. April, another big drop, 22%. May, this is when Bitcoin also crashed, 58% crash in the middle of a bull market. And keep in mind, at this point, Ethereum has already run from $400 in December all the way in 5 months to $4,000, and it crashed 58%. Well, was it over? Didn't really recover for a couple months. Even in July, it was still sitting at 1.7. Well, guess what? Even in this case, it recovered all the way back to all-time high and higher, right? Compare that with what's happening today. I mean, how much did ETH pull back today? I wouldn't even call this a crash. If you take the top of the wick to this wick, you're looking at about a 15% drop. It's really nothing in the grand scale of things, Plus, it recovered pretty quickly. It's one thing that your token dropped by a lot, but how soon did it recover? It's indication of the strength, right? Looking at the 4-hour chart, I don't really look at 4-hour charts because it's too low of a time frame, but you can see how quickly it recovered, right? This is a classic liquidation trade. Tokens got liquidated, went down to 3.5K. There's a lot of liquidations. A lot of people panic sold. Maybe they bought it over here at 4K. They saw it pull back 10%, panicked, sold their tokens, and it shot right back up in the next 4-hour candle. That's how quickly it recovered. Right? This is like not even a V-shaped recovery. This is like an instant recovery. It's an intraday recovery here. Look at the 3 days. It's barely made a dent here. We just got back to where it was last week. 3.7. Remember last week, it was when Ethereum went from 3.5 to 3.7 for the first time since the June of this year. It just got back up and tested 4K, right? Obviously, there's a bit of a resistance here, and there's a lot of reasons why Ethereum and a lot of cryptos corrected today, but Really, it's barely made a dent. I don't know why people are worried about these kind of things. I mean, if it goes back to have a pullback of 70%, that's something I would be worried about. But even in 2021, it pulled back 60% from top to bottom. Still, ETH lived to see another day. See how much was the pullback here from the March of this year all the way to the bottom. It's only a pullback of 50%, right? This was, by the way, probably the greatest buying opportunity. You have the cycle when ETH literally went to a 50% discount. I was telling everybody that I know to allocate some into ETH in the summer, August all the way to September. Before October happened, you can buy Ethereum at $2,000 or 2.2. That's some crazy numbers. Right? What is 2.2K? Last seen in December of 2023, almost a year ago. It went back to the price. Was the time before? It was the first time that you saw 2K ETH. It was back in, right, almost 2K ETH. It was back in April of 2021. We're looking about 3 years ago. If you bought Ethereum in May of 2021, you're still in a loss position right now. And for each cycle, we all know that the cycle top goes a lot higher than the previous all-time high, and we're not even at the previous all-time high yet. We haven't even tested 4.9K yet. This is still very early for Ethereum. Still very early for Ethereum. Let's look at this. This chart right here. I mean, it looks so good. This is, you can call it a cup of handle. You can call it head and shoulder, whatever you want to call it, right? Take this, the depths of this candle here, 3.4K all the way to 2.2K, about 2.2K of difference, right? This is your head and shoulder. What's your targets? Let's just put it here, all the way, take you all the way back to all-time high, 4.6, which also kind of makes sense, right? This is a really good inverse head and shoulder pattern. If you do the inverse, you will see, right? This is your classic head and shoulders. Head and shoulder. Price target 4.6, 4.7. Right? See what other Ethereum charts I have. I have the ETH dominance. It's sitting at 13% right here. Right. A lot of other tokens dropped by quite a bit today. Link went down 30% intraday, 28%. These are massive pullback opportunities in a bull market. See how good this chart looks. You're looking at Chainlink. You're looking at a breakout, long-term consolidation. Again, it's been consolidating since April of 2021. We got a breakout of this area on the loss scale, of course, right? I mean, the Chainlink targets could be a lot higher than the previous all-time high, which is about a 2x from now. This is your Ethereum spot ETF by BlackRock. Started with $26. This was quite a long time ago. This is July when the ETF went live. The holders of the ETF is only at 8%. In fact, they've been down majority of the time. They've been down from 26 for more than 30% at one point. 35% in the summer. 30 days, 45 days after you bought the spot ETF, you're down about 35%. It's back up now, right? See what other comments that people have about the stream. Slight correction. Yep. In top 3-year hold. Yeah. I mean, really, the best strategy has always been bear market accumulation, right? Right now, there's very limited opportunities now to buy these tokens. But if you bought in the lows of 2022 or 2023, you would have gone up by quite a bit. Even if you just own Bitcoin, you would have gone up 5x, right? The capital rotation that's happening. We are at almost 1,000 viewers. Thank you. Yep. And you guys let me know. You guys let me know what you want me to cover. Probably gonna end the stream in a little bit, in a few more minutes. But thanks for participating in the first stream. If you guys like it, can do more. I can definitely do more streams. This is the first time that I'm streaming, so it's a little disorganized. I'm just talking about, different charts, what I'm looking at. Yeah. ETH. You do have a lot of people interested in ETH in the comments. Let me see if there's any comments on YouTube. Don't think there's any other major questions. Okay, maybe we'll just go ahead and end the stream now. It's been more than an hour, but thanks everyone for showing up to my stream. If you guys like it, we'll definitely stream again very soon. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment, subscribe, or follow me on X at Venture Founder. YouTube is also at Venture Founder. Definitely post more analysis in the coming days. And if you have questions, leave me a comment. We'll keep the streak going, answering some of the top questions that you guys might have. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now, if there's no last minute questions. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Thanks, guys, and